Well, welcome to day 2 of Bible engagement coaching. And what I want to pass along today is the best advice that I ever received when it comes to this subject. And then I've got another part that I want to do as well. I want to pass on another piece that will hopefully help you. But the best piece of advice that I ever received when it came to this subject came because I was struggling with it. I had become a believer when I was 19. Well, I was all in. I wanted to follow Jesus. I felt his call on my life, and I wanted to grow, and I wanted to read my Bible and pray like I knew I was supposed to, but I struggled with it. Sometimes I'd read the Bible for an hour, and I'd feel awesome, and other days I'd skip and wouldn't read it at all. I wouldn't. I was very off again, on again, that kind of stuff. And I went to my pastor, and I said, "Hey, I'm really battling this." And he did give me the best advice that I've ever heard, and I always remembered it, and I used it, and it worked. And that was a really, really, really long time ago. And I've passed it along in sermons, and if you've heard me say this before, I'm going to say it again because it is absolutely crucial. It's this: start small and go for daily. Start small and go for daily. And you can apply that to if you want to get exercise programs started, if you want to eat better, if you want to do anything nearly. If you will think that way, it will help you. Because here's what that means. He said, Brett, here's what I want to challenge you to do. I don't want you to read the Bible for an hour tomorrow. I want you to set aside a 5-minute block of your time. I want you to pick a 5-minute block in your day, morning, noon, during your lunch hour, or right before you go to bed at night. 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes, really? Is that okay? Is that legal? Is God like that? He said, no, 5 minutes. And but here's what I want you to do. I want you to not let anything get you off that 5 minutes. I want you to establish yourself so deeply on that 5 minutes that nothing, heaven and earth could end, and that 5 minutes is gonna be there. But establish it. Pick it out. Now, I highly recommend it's first thing in the morning. I don't know if you're a morning person, but it's easy to do routines in the morning. You can back up the time you wake up to 5 minutes before, and just get up and, you shower, you brush your teeth, you do whatever else you do in the morning, and pick out that 5 minutes and just say, okay, this is my Bible read time, this is my reflect time, this is my prayer time, and watch the 5 minutes. And because he said this, he said, and go for the daily. He said, I'm talking every single day. Just make that 5 minutes a day, and everybody's got it. Everybody has 5 minutes. But I promise you, it will grow. I promise you it will grow. I remember saying that. And here's the thing. That was years and years and years and years ago. And it did grow. But there was something about it that relieved the pressure off me, the guilt. It felt achievable. It didn't feel like this impossible wall I was trying to scale. And that's what's critical about Bible engagement if you want to get it in, because that's our mission with these whole coaching videos. We're not going to plumb the depths of what the Bible has to say about the end of the world or any of that sort of thing. We're just trying to get it as a discipline in our lives that, according to research, is the best discipline you can have to grow in your relationship with Jesus. So go for small and go for daily. Start small, go for daily. And you will see it grow. And it really did. And the thing about it is, you got to remember that it doesn't seem like much at first, but you'll find yourself wanting it to be more. Even hold yourself to 5 minutes. If you want to go 6 minutes, just cut it off. Okay, I'm going to make it 5 minutes. I can't wait till tomorrow. And then you just kind of start that. And before you know it, you're looking up and 10 minutes have passed, and sometimes 20. And now going an hour or something like that is not that big of a deal. But I'm going for the daily, because always remember, what you do with your days is what you do with your life. What you do with your days is what you do with your life. Every grand project that's ever been done in the history of mankind took a series of days to accomplish. That simple. Building the Great Pyramids, to writing the greatest books, to whatever else. It took work happening each and every day. Because if you do things on a daily basis, it doesn't seem like much, but it has the same effect as compound interest. If you just keep doing that, it keeps compounding. And I look over now in years and years, decades now, of that 5-minute rule and letting that grow. And I've had just a rich experience engaging with the Bible. And some of them have been profound, some of them have been simple, but it's always been there, and it's been a part of the fabric of my life. And that's what I want for you. So always remember that another pastor's advice that he gave me. So that's the first part. Second part is, let's talk about the actual engagement with the Bible. And what we're going to do is, it is kind of linked to that principle that I just shared. And that is Start small and go for daily. So what we're going to do, just to symbolize that, we could take a lot of different approaches to the Bible, and there's a lot of different approaches you could take. But what we're going to do in January is we're going to go through the shortest books in the Bible. We're going to start with the book of 2nd John, not the Gospel of John, not 1st John, but 2nd John. We're going to go on to 3rd John, and then we're going to do Philemon and Jude. These are some of the shortest books in the Bible. They are one chapter. They're just a few verses, but they're there. And the reason I'm doing that is to lock into that principle of start small and go for daily. So that's what we're going to be able to do. So with that, I want you to turn to 2nd John or pull it up on your phone or whatever else. As soon as this video is over, go to the book of 2nd John. And you'll notice, hey, just take a look at it. This is achievable. I can do this in less than 5 minutes. It's a page. It is one chapter. It doesn't even have, it's very, very, very brief, but it's a full book of the Bible. So you always got to remember about the Bible. The Bible's one book, but it's a library of 66 different books. So imagine the Bible is, all 66 books are on a shelf in a library or a bookstore or something, and they're all different from one another. They're the different lengths, they're different approaches, different language, different literary genres, they're different in many, many different ways. And so imagine just, okay, here's what I'm going to do to engage in the Bible, to get started and overcome some of the struggle with it, is I'm just going to pick one of those books. And I'm going to be an expert on that book. And I'm going to start with the shortest one of all. And that seems like I'm cheating or whatever else, but it's not. It's God's Word. It is a book. And I'm just going to start very, very small. I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to read that thing from beginning to end. And then when I'm done, after reading it for like 1 minute or 2 minutes or however long it takes me, I can kind of pat myself on the back like, I read a full book of the Bible today. And that's what you're going to do. And we're actually going to read this. I'm going to encourage you to read the book of 2nd John each day for the next few days. And then we'll go on to 3rd John and read the whole book each day for several days. Now, here's the key principle that I'm going to give you when it comes to actually reading the Bible. All right? And here's your assignment once this video is over. I want you to read the whole book, but your first assignment, always remember this, is listen. When you go to the Bible first, you're going there to listen. In other words, you're not going there to pull for it to say something. You're not going there for even life application. You're not going there to try to figure out, when the world's going to end, or, who the Antichrist is, or you're not trying to do any of that. You're simply going to it and letting it speak for itself and just listen to what it is. Now, the keys to listening, or you have to understand the individual book. Again, we're just going to take the book of 2nd John off the shelf and act like we're not looking at any of the other books right now. And my encouragement to you would be to become an expert at the book of 2nd John. I'm gonna learn that, and I'm gonna do this. This is what I'm gonna do during my own personal quiet prayer time. And I did this morning. I'm already reading 2nd John, living inside it, observing it. I read a little bit of background material on it because that's what you want to do. So here's your background material assignment. There's a great series of videos called the Bible Project. TheBibleProject.com. If you will go there, or you can go there on YouTube. They have intros to every single book of the Bible. Now, the intro to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John is under 1st John, not the Gospel of John, but 1st John. Got the 1 in front of it. Listen to the first little part of that, and they'll talk you through the little letters of 2nd and 3rd John. Give you a little bit of background of what they are. They are letters from a leader to a church and a church leader. That's what they are. And so what I want you to do is listen, but imagine, just let it be what it is. And imagine you're back there 2,000 years ago and you've received a letter from a leader about the subject that the background gives you on it, and just listen to it. Your goal is to listen first. Just read it through. Some of it you may not understand. Some of it you may think is irrelevant. Don't worry about that now. We're going to talk about those kinds of things as we go forward. But your first assignment is just simply to listen, and then close it up, pray over it, say, God, I didn't understand that at all, or that was kind of interesting. I don't know what that meant, but here's what you're going to find. As you do that and you go and you listen, those life application things, those transformative kinds of ideas, they'll just surface on their own, but don't force them. Just my job is first to listen to what it says. So So go read the book of 2 John, watch the Bible Project video, there's a little bit of background on it, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow.